right, ladies and gentlemen of sixth period, you made it to the end of another week. Let's give yourselves a big round of applause. What's up? Yeah, it was a short week. They were only half days, so it's nothing to get that excited about. But I'm proud of you all anyway. All right, where were we? Oh, right, we were here. I let him die laughing, said the man in black. Pray I do as much for you. He lifted her, slashed her bonds away, put her on her feet, and started to pull her along. Please, Buttercup said, give me a moment to gather myself. The man in black released his grip. Buttercup rubbed her wrists, stopped, massaged her ankles. She took a final look at the Sicilian. To think, she murmured, all that time it was your cup that was poisoned. They were both poisoned, said the man in black. I've spent the past 2 years building up an immunity to iocane powder. Bum, bum, bum! What is building up an immunity? How do you do that? Huh? Yes, Chatty Cathy. And now she forgot. And he dropped his hat. No, it's not trying to kill yourself. How do you build up an immunity to something? Yes.
By like say you are allergic to peanuts, you eat a tiny little bit of a peanut every single day, which will make you more.
I guess if you're allergic, I'm not suggesting. I don't think she's suggesting if you're allergic to peanuts to go eat peanuts, because some people go into shock when they do that. But yes, you ingest a little bit of the thing every day, like the flu. The flu vaccine has a little bit of flu in it, and then that way when the flu comes along, and this guy's reading a completely different book. Apparently, hey Rudy, it's not time to read a different book right now because you're being quizzed on this on Monday. Holy moly, we've made it a whole half a page already. Moving on. Buttercup looked up at him. He was terrifying to her, masked and hooded and dangerous. His voice was strained, rough. Who are you? She asked. I am no one to be trifled with, replied the man in black. That is all you ever need to know. And with that, he yanked her upright. You had your moment. Again, he pulled her after him, and this time she could do nothing but follow. They moved along the mountain path. The moonlight was very bright, and there were rocks everywhere. And to Buttercup, it all looked dead and yellow, like the moon. She had just spent several hours with 3 men who were openly planning to kill her. So why, she wondered, was she more frightened now than then? Who was the horrid hooded figure to strike fear in her so? What could be worse than dying? I will pay you a great deal of money to release me, she managed to say. The man in black glanced at her. You are rich, then? I will be, Buttercup said. Whatever you want for ransom, I promise I'll get it for you if you let me go. The man in black just laughed. I was not speaking in jest. You promise, I should release you on your promise. What is that worth? The promise of a woman. Oh, that is very funny, Highness, spoken in jest or not. They proceeded along the mountain path to an open space. The man in black stopped then. There were a million stars fighting for prominence, and for a moment he seemed to be intent on nothing less than studying them all, as Buttercup watched his eyes flick from constellation to constellation behind his mask. Then, with no warning, he spun off the path, heading into wild terrain, pulling her behind him. She stumbled. He pulled her to her feet again. Again she fell. Again he righted her. I cannot move this quickly. You can and you will, or you will suffer greatly. Do you think I could make you suffer greatly? Buttercup nodded. Then run, cried the man in black. And he broke into a run himself, flying across rocks in the moonlight, pulling the princess behind him. She did her best to keep up. She was frightened as to what he would do to her, so she dared not fall again. After 5 minutes, the man in black stopped dead. Catch your breath, he commanded. Buttercup nodded, gasped in air, and tried to quiet her heart. But then they were off again, with no warning, dashing across mountainous terrain. Where do you take me? Buttercup gasped, when he again gave her the chance to rest. Surely someone even as arrogant as you cannot expect me to give an answer. What is arrogant? Yes.
Impatient?
No, arrogant is not impatient. Yes.
Like smart?
No. Yes.
Annoying?
Annoying? An arrogant person can certainly be annoying, but yes. No, you're just waving. Hello, how are you? Conceited, full of yourself, arrogant. Surely someone even as arrogant as you cannot expect me to give an answer. It does not matter if you tell me or not. He will find you. He, Highness? Prince Humperdinck. There is no greater hunter. He can track a falcon on a cloudy day. He can find you. You have confidence that your dearest love will save you, do you? I never said he was my dearest love. And yes, he will save me, that I know. You admit you do not love your husband-to-be. Fancy, an honest woman. You're a rare specimen, Highness. The prince and I have never from the beginning lied to each other. He knows I do not love him. Are not capable of love is what you mean. I'm very capable of love, Buttercup said. Hold your tongue, I think. I have loved more deeply than a killer like you can possibly imagine. He slapped her. There is a penalty for lying, Highness. Where I come from, when a woman lies, she is reprimanded. Hey, vocab board. Vocab quiz on Monday, remember. And content as well. Huh? You didn't hear the well, you heard the vocab words last week, so you've had a week off from vocab, and we're having them again on Monday. Hooray! All right. There is a penalty for lying, Highness. Where I come from, when a woman lies, she is reprimanded. But I spoke the truth. I did. Buttercup saw his hand raise a second time, so she stopped quickly, fell dead silent. Then they began to run again. They did not speak for hours. They just ran. And then, as if he could guess when she was spent, he would stop, release her hand. She would try to catch her breath for the next dash she was sure to come. Without a sound, he would grab her and off they would go. It was close to dawn when they first saw the armada. What is an armada? Armada? Not a ramada, but an armada.
I mean, it's outside, right?
No, that's a ramada. Ra versus R, yes.
Like a sunrise?
A sunrise, no. It is an army of ships, folks, an army of battleships. It was close to dawn when they first saw the armada. They were running along the edge of a towering ravine. They seemed almost to be at the top of the world. When they stopped, Buttercup sat down to rest. The man in black stood silently over her. Your love comes not alone, he said then. Buttercup did not understand. The man in black pointed back the way they had come. Buttercup stared, and as she did, the waters of Florin Channel seemed as filled with light as the sky was filled with stars. Because of lanterns, yes. He must have ordered every ship in Florin after you, the man in black said. Such a sight I have never seen. He stared at all the lanterns and all the ships as they moved. You can never escape him, Buttercup said. If you release me, I promise that no harm will come to you. You are much too generous. I could never accept such an offer. I offered you your life. That was generous enough. Highness, said the man in black, and his hands were suddenly at her throat. If there is talk of life to be done, let me do it. You would not kill me. You did not steal me from murderers to murder me yourself. Wise as well as loving, said the man in black. He jerked her to her feet, and they ran along the edge of the great ravine. It was hundreds of feet deep and filled with rocks and trees and lifting shadows. Abruptly, the man in black stopped, stared back at the armada. To be honest, he said, I had not expected quite so many. You can never predict my prince. That is why he is the greatest hunter. I wonder, said the man in black, will he stay in one group or will he divide? Some to search the coastline, some to follow your path on land. What do you think? I only know he will find me, and if you have not given me my freedom first, he will not treat you gently. Surely he must have discussed these things with you, the thrill of the hunt. What has he done in the past with this many ships? We do not discuss hunting, that I can assure you. Not hunting, not love? What do you talk about? Well, we do not see all that much of each other. Tender couple. Buttercup could feel the upset coming. We are always very honest with each other. Not everyone can say as much. May I please tell you something, Highness? You're very cold. I'm not very cold and very young, and if you live, I think you'll turn to frost. Why do you pick at me? I have come to terms with my life, and that is my affair. I am not cold, I swear, but I have decided certain things. It is best for me to ignore emotion. I have not been happy dealing with it. Her heart was a secret garden, and the walls were very high. What is that? Her heart was a secret garden, and the walls were very high. Yes? What type of figurative language is it? Yes? Her heart was a secret garden, and the walls were very high. Not personification. Yes. Metaphor why? Yes. Because it doesn't use like or as. Her heart was a secret garden, and the walls were very high. I loved once, Buttercup said after a moment. It worked out badly. Another rich man? Yes. And he left you for a richer woman? No. Poor, and it killed him. Were you sorry? Did you feel pain? Admit that you felt nothing. Do not mock my grief. I died that day. The armada began to fire signal cannons. The explosions echoed through the mountains. The man in black stared at the ships as they began to change formation. And while he was watching the ships, Buttercup shoved him with all her strength remaining. For a moment, the man in black teetered at the ravine edge. His arms spun like windmills, fighting for balance. They swung and gripped the air, and then he began his slide. Down went the man in black, stumbling and torn and reaching out to stop his descent. But the ravine was too steep, and nothing could be done. Down, down, rolling over rocks, spinning out of all control. Buttercup stared down at what she had done. Finally, he rested far below, silent and without motion. "You can die too, for all I care," she said, and then she turned away. Words followed her, whispered from far, weak and warm and familiar. "As you wish." Bum, bum, bum! Oh my goodness! Yes, you're all very, very smart. We'll pick it up on Monday. Have a good weekend. You're all geniuses. Yes. Maybe it's not Wesley's twin brother after all. All right, we're out. Peace.